After putting it off for months, it's time to finish the Dynasty Warriors 6 series of games. But unlike most of the Warriors games at the time, it only ever had a single expansion, the most important one, and considered the most popular and better entry to every Warriors game. Today, I would like to announce the best expansion to the Dynasty Warriors series. The one entry that pushes the series forward and adds so many great new features and ways to play the game. The one that you're all familiar with. The one and only Empire's expansion.
I'm ready. Depression. I'm ready. Depression.
Well, let's just say while Dynasty Warriors 6 was a bad game for its time, the Empire's expansion really didn't do much to salvage the sinking ship that was DW6. Compared to later entries, however, I do see DW6 as a mediocre game and not a garbage one. After all, with Dynasty Warriors 8 and 9 out there, we have worse versions of the base game, Extreme Legends, and Empire's expansions too.
At long last, an age of peace has come. Rebuilding this war-torn country could prove to be my greatest challenge yet.
As such, DW6 isn't the worst game in the series anymore. That's DW9. So let's talk about DW6 and its Empire's expansion. For it's nothing great, but nothing awful either. In fact, it does offer some stuff to improve this entry's overall experience.
Hear ye, hear ye! The Imperial coffers are in need of emergency funds. You are to send an offering immediately.
For example, this entry greatly improved Officer Edit mode, while still not as in-depth as Dynasty Warriors 8 Empires, which is one of the only good things about that game, as it has the best edit mode of all Empires games. Too bad they downgraded everything else. DW6E's edit mode contains plenty of stuff to create and play with. You have several new outfits, hairs, facial presets, the new colors of purple, black, and yellow, and the ability to save more than 10 officers for once.
I am Lu Xun. I will do what I can, my liege.
While there is more options and sliders to alter the appearances more, you won't be recreating anyone one-to-one or anything like that. It's still a bit restrictive due to its structure and extras lacking in the beards department, so I did my best to make Asmongold, Mice Critical, Some Ordinary Gamer, Scott the Wise, Maximilian Dude, and Brutal Moose alongside original characters. I feel like Asmongold and Charlie are the most accurate, given their basic real-life appearances. Just make two guys with beards, one with long hair and is shorter, and the other who's taller and more scrawny, with less hair.
Suck a fucking dick, shut the fuck up.
You have so many new outfit pieces to select from, with new ones unlocking as you play the game. Not a fan of that and would rather have everything right away, or at least a more clear answer on how to unlock parts instead of it being random with several playthroughs and battles. Another con is they still didn't return all the characters they cut from the base game. So if you wanted to use a certain officer's moveset, you can't. Instead, we just have Menhuo back, with a giant column for his weapon instead of his claws. Lame. Where's my waifu Zhurong?
Shameful display!
Combat is the same as the base game, but feels somehow better? Not sure if they did alter things, but it's still the same combat system. The Renbu system, I think they called it. You just keep swinging your weapon and racking up endless combos till you either stop, get hit, or even use your strong attack for the same exact strong attack each time. The combat is still repetitive and shallow.
I am overjoyed to see that the righteous flames of justice burn brightly within you.
I honestly didn't enjoy the combat in the base game, and neither here. In fact, it gets more repetitive in this game, given you have to conquer each individual territory instead of just taking out the capital of the defending kingdom. Can still jump like crazy and climb cliffs, swim, ride a horse, but you cannot call the horse, nor can you use a bow still, which in a way I agree with Chris Gildart about the bow, but I liked having it as an option, especially if I'm facing tough situations where my health is low and I cannot get near an officer without being killed. With the bow, I could attack Lubu from a safe distance at the least. Thankfully, they implemented a one-time system with strategies in this entry. You can now use L2 and use one of 4 abilities at a time with a cooldown. Use can range from earning money with each hit/kill, or throwing fire at enemies in front of you, giving yourself a speed boost and more. You can get these by infusing your weapon with them from the blacksmith. More on that later. If you've played an Empires game, you know what to expect. Go and take the enemy main camp and defend yours. Take other bases along the way to make a connection between your base and theirs to take the main camp. Give orders to your officers and fight hordes of enemies. The various unique units return, and the AI is aggressive. I'll give them credit for that at least. The game can offer challenge if you let it, unlike later games.
You've won this round, but I will have the last laugh.
I barely broke a sweat.
I must not fall here. I will withdraw now.
I barely broke a sweat.
The strategy was downgraded to being just one-time cards. You select one or more depending on resource orbs. Each card offers a different ability, like having more attack during a defense battle, but lower defense, or restore 500 troops to a single officer. Yep, they removed the policies of old in favor of cards. You cannot select from various things anymore, and it sucks.
So the plan was a success. May the Crimson Flames consume the enemy ranks.
You have a few stores to visit, like the training center. Using money, you can increase your stats like attack, defense, health, and so on, speed. The Forge lets you upgrade your and your officers' weapons, increase the damage, imbue an effect like attack range or elemental attack, and finally add a special like flame attack, speed increase, create a double of yourself, and more.
Come back anytime.
The Stables lets you buy new mounts if you have the money. This is where you can get Red Hair, the best horse in Warriors history.
Have a nice day.
Then finally the store is just to get new gems. These are needed to get new effects and specials infused into your weapons. You can also collect these over time through battles. There's a new way to play the game that started with this entry. Can you guess it? It's the ability to be a roaming officer, completing various battles/jobs during gold, and earn a reputation finding a lord to serve, making friends, and even attempting to take over a kingdom if you want to. It's a nice addition, but nothing special. I never really used this mode in DW7E or DW8E for a reason. It's just meh. After you clear a scenario, you earn bonus points. These can be used to unlock color palette swaps for unique officers, wallpaper, voice lines, and can be used to start new Empire scenarios with everything unlocked. There's a checklist of pre-made objectives you can complete to earn bonus points, but they're hidden until you complete them. So what's the point of the list? You may have noticed I really didn't talk about much, but that's because this game doesn't have much to offer. It's a more shallow, repetitive Empires experience from Dynasty Warriors 5's more in-depth nature, which at the time was the best option that was topped by the current Emperor of Empires games, Dynasty Warriors 7 Empires.
Ah, thank you for coming. It is a rare warrior who values loyalty even among all this chaos. I shan't forget this.
So what else can we even talk about? The music is fine, but I'd rather listen to the older games soundtracks and do choose to during battles. I like how all the DLCs are free for this entry, which was extremely generous and desperate of a Megaforce given the base game's reception and stigma. The DLC gave you access to new edit mode options and especially music from the first game, back when Dynasty Warriors was a generic Soul Calibur style game, and it was garbage.
You ain't lying.
The game did introduce the ability to get married, but I don't know how to trigger this event since they removed the policies and ability to interact with officers and even be able to choose to recruit officers. Instead, you just randomly take in people at random times. As to how to get married, Google is your friend. I'm not sure myself and never got it to work. It's just a chore to get.
With the world under your control, I can finally sense a new justice coming over the land.
Just think, you, boss of the whole world. Now that calls for a celebration.
At the end of the day, Dynasty Warriors 6 Empires is a painfully average game with many flaws, from the downgraded strategy and a lack of interactions, yet it also introduced several new things that would get expanded upon in later games with marriage, sworn siblings, and being a mercenary. DW6E is just a polarizing game like the base game, but one I do recommend despite its hiccups. Anyways, that's it for this video. See you all later.